Hi, hello, Justin. Thank you
Hello.
so much for accepting our invitation and for being with us
Absolutely.
today. And how are
Absolutely.
you today?
I'm good. It's busy. Real estate season in the summer here is crazy. So definitely busy managing a team and, doing a
I
lot of transactions. So
I believe you recently just sold some properties.
yeah, yeah. So we're buying and selling every week, helping, clients,
Mm-hmm.
either sell a property or buy a property. And so we just put one under contract yesterday, close one tomorrow. So, we do a
Wow,
few a week. Yeah. So
amazing.
we usually, we're about three a week, 12 to 15 transactions a month.
So it's really going well. But before we go into that, before I do go
Hmm.
ahead and ask you a lot of these questions that I've prepared here, I'd just like to introduce you because we'll be post across all our social media channels as well,
Sure.
our
Hmm.
YouTube channel, and yeah, everywhere we are at. So I just would
Right.
like to introduce you first to our
Okay.
audience. So guys, here with me today is Milette, and he was born and raised in Alaska. He grew up in Anchorage and now has raised his own family there. And I believe he always had a passion for real estate and was always
Hmm.
told as a child to pursue his passion. So he enjoys working in real estate industry, be it investing, right? Helping
Hmm.
someone buy or sell or just creating solutions to a goal for a client and how to become a new homeowner or a new home seller.
Right.
So I do believe you do really show your love for real estate in every transaction.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. We, myself and my team obviously, strive to kind of do, really good work for our clients, put a lot of passion into it. Definitely known for always being, really good and on top of things, always communicative with our clients, the other side of each transaction, with all the different companies that are associated with every transaction, right? Just so that
Mm,
way our clients can have a really positive experience.
mm-hmm.
Selling and buying real estate can be really stressful. And so, it's my job and my team's job to obviously kind of handle that, negotiate for our clients, ease that stress as much as we can. We can't make it stress free because you are buying and selling a home. So it's
Of
one of the
course.
largest purchases you're going to be doing in your lifetime. But we can take a lot of that stress off you, explain things, make sure, we have a lot of
Mm.
contacts that we use to, help facilitate a smooth transaction for people, and obviously, have like a work ethic that makes that pretty seamless.
Awesome. And you did say that you are in an area where there's around just fewer people than New York, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
what do you bring to your community?
Yeah. So Anchorage is a population of about 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Alaska as a whole is just a little under 700,000 as an entire state.
Hmm.
But my most of my life I've been not as in real estate.
Hmm.
I was a police officer for 4 years. I was a fireman for 14. So a lot of
Wow.
my background has been public safety, so a different
Hmm.
kind of helping people. So got my license about almost 5 years ago,
Hmm.
and kind of transitioned into that. I've been, buying my own properties and investments, and being a landlord since about 2008. So
Hmm.
that's kind of what got me into it. My wife kind of talked me into getting my license, doing the sales aspect of things, and
Hmm.
so that was just almost 5 years ago, and kind of hit the ground running. And now here I am and built this company and moving forward, and things are growing. So
Awesome. 5 years, right? And in those 5 years, how's the growth of your company? How did you manage to get to where you're at right now?
yeah, so I started as an individual agent. Um, was really part-time-ish, kind of learning things. I
Hmm.
was working, 60, 70, 80 hours a week at the fire department. So really part-time-ish, with the real
Hmm.
estate for my first probably 2.5 years. Um, once I started kind of getting the hang of it, starting doing some transactions, really kind of learning things, I felt a lot more confident in my abilities, and kind of dumped a little more full time into it.
Mm-hmm.
The fire department schedule allows us to do that because we do 24-hour shifts. So we
Mm-hmm.
only worked 9, 10 days a month at the fire department. So I had 20 days off a month that let me kind of do real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So I started kind of more in the full time world about 2 years ago or something like that. So I had a team of two of us, myself and one member. And
Mm-hmm.
now the last 2 years, we went from I think our first year probably like around 5 or 6 million in transactions closed. Last year we did just about 20 million.
Wow,
This year we're probably going to be hitting about 50 million in closed transactions.
that's
Pretty
amazing.
close to it, yeah. So really kind of growing. We have a team of 5, 6 now. So um, yeah, so things are growing. People just see obviously the what we do, and we do things a little differently,
Mm-hmm.
right? We use a lot of video, a lot of social media
Yes.
engagement, which is where you guys
Mm-hmm.
come in. Um, so kind of just doing that kind of stuff has really kind of made an attraction to kind of what
Mm-hmm.
I do and what my team does.
So it's a bit different because a lot of the real estate agents, it's kind of traditional, especially those who have been there in the industry for like over 20 years. And
Hmm.
they don't really have that social media presence, but they do have a lot of network, like a
Right.
huge network. So
Hmm.
how are you using now social media to widen your network? Because your growth is really, it's it's a huge growth in such a short period of time.
Yeah, so I do a lot of video. I've been trying to
Mhm.
do a lot of video. The video is really kind of video, getting on all the platforms, so making
Mhm.
sure you're on Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook. You're always in front of people, sharing your story,
Hmm.
sharing your personality, right? Video is the
Yes.
best way for people to connect with you, and relate to you,
Mhm.
and it's also a good way to capture people, like the algorithms and all that stuff. Work with video a lot better. Obviously, YouTube as well. We utilize YouTube. It's pretty common for us to, well, it's common for myself to, get pulled, aside at restaurants and malls and stuff like that. And people are like, "Hey, you're that realtor on YouTube. You're Justin."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah. And they're like, "Oh, I love your videos. Keep going." You know, people I don't know. So
Mm.
it's pretty cool to see, right? So you can definitely tell you're making a splash. You're making an impact with the video, that people can see you, and that's always nice because you don't always know where your
Mhm.
branding is getting you, right? Because it's a little more
Mhm.
challenging to calculate your return on an investment or your impact with your branding. And so it's nice to see if people start pulling you aside. You don't know who they are, but they know who you are,
They
right?
recognize you. Yeah.
They recognize you, and so that's big. So that you may not be able to put a monetary value to that, but
Mhm.
people are obviously starting to associate you with real estate and you in Anchorage or you in Alaska.
Exactly.
So really, the video has been the biggest thing for me as far as kind of growth. Just kind of putting yourself out there.
And your videos are quite unique because you do have this background as a policeman, as a fireman, and you've been in Anchorage your whole life. It's
Hmm.
not just the real estate showing the property off and this and that, but you do add entertainment. You do add like us being able to travel around
Hmm.
Anchorage, around Alaska in your videos.
Right. Yeah. It's Alaska is a unique place, even for people from all around the world. We have a lot of tourism here. Um,
Mhm.
Even people around from the United States come here. It's on their bucket list of places to go.
Mhm.
We're a 4 to 5 day drive from Washington to Alaska. We're a 3.5 hour flight, so we're not close to the rest of the United States. We're kind of like Hawaii, right? Kind of off doing our own thing.
Uh huh.
Um, so Alaska is like this majestic, like kind of mythical place that people think that we live in igloos and drive dog sleds around for, you know. So you get a lot of those questions. So really, I just wanted to showcase Alaska, showcase our neighborhoods, um, not make it so much more about like salesy real estate. What people
Mhm.
kind of think. Like, hey, I'm here to help you buy a house. More or less just kind of showcase Alaska and become really kind of the knowledge base about
Mhm.
Alaska and just kind of show people Alaska, and then have fun with it. I enjoyed making them, so I enjoy seeing all these places, talking to the people, and making these fun videos and doing all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, and we enjoy watching those videos. I mean, we haven't been there obviously, but able to see, like,
right,
we know that you took the videos yourself, so we know it's the real thing. It's not like Hollywood Alaska, but it's the real
right.
Alaska.
It's real Alaska, yes. So yeah, we're shooting it. We're in the helicopter. We're jumping in cold lakes and all that stuff. So um, we always try to add a little bit of like humor into our videos
Hmm.
and try to make them fun to watch, right? But a little educational at the same time. Um, so I'm always open to try new things and
Hmm.
make fun of myself and wear ridiculous outfits and you know so that's what I'm
That's
kind of
really
known for.
something. Not a lot of people are willing to do that. So for you to
Correct.
be able to let go of yourself and just have fun, people see that, and that's something that they gravitate to. And
Yes, yes, yeah. It
yeah,
you know
it's
what
what
it,
makes
it
it amazing. Hmm.
it makes you relatable,
Yes,
right?
exactly, right?
A lot of people get on camera and they're like really stiff and
Yeah.
you know they don't allow their personality to show through.
Mhm.
And so it's really important to be on video, show your personality, be okay with making mistakes, making fun of yourself, showing your blooper reels, um, you know, because that's where you're going to make the connections. That's where
True.
people are going to be like, oh wow, yeah, okay, this guy's funny. Like, okay,
It's
that's like a
real.
personality, right?
It's
Yeah,
human.
it is real. So yeah, so um, yeah,
Oh,
so it's interesting to go ahead.
yeah. I was also just saying we do have a lot of questions here on our comment. I believe you can see them as well.
Yeah, I can see him as
Um,
well.
Yeah, we. I believe you already know that we're doing this interviews because we're about to celebrate our first anniversary. So we also wanted our VAs to see our clients and to be able to
Mm-hmm.
ask questions and
Sure.
just to be able to connect with our clients. So
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
have a few questions here. One is from Juveline. I think you know her very well.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Hey,
She's
Judy.
asking, why is real estate referred to as the safest long-term investment?
So typically, real estate is one of the, like gold. It's a tangible deal, right? So it's a tangible investment.
Yeah.
Um, no one can really take it away from you. Uh, and so, especially if you own it outright,
Hmm.
and just historically, real estate has always gained value. You know,
Mm. Yeah.
um, they call real estate almost like a forced savings account. So if you
Hmm.
have a mortgage, right, you know, then it allows you to save, right, build equity in a home with a
Hmm.
mortgage, and then over time you pay that mortgage off, and then at the end of 15, 20, 30 years, right, you have a large nest egg of equity built into this house, right, and so they call that kind of a forced savings, right? And then, of course, over time, the house value will go up. So not only are you building equity, but the price of the home is going to increase as well.
For sure.
Also, and that's just for a single family home. Now, on top of that, there's a whole world of investment real estate that is a really kind of deep dive. But
Hmm.
some of the wealthiest people on the planet own a lot of real estate or companies, right? So a lot of them have built a ton of wealth. It's very easy to build wealth in real estate. Owning properties, pretty much have people paying your mortgage through rentals and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
You get in the commercial world and all that stuff. So, along with that is, especially in the United States, we have a tax structure that's really set up well with real estate on decreasing your tax liability. So it's one of kind of like a tax shelter for a lot of people. It's a way to kind of like spread out your tax liability, increase wealth at the same time, earn profits without having to pay a lot of taxes on it. And so that's why you have a lot of foundations and kind of the rich who invest a lot in real estate, and that's because they're able to put their money there and not pay a lot of taxes on it. So that is kind of like one of the reasons, some of the reasons why they call it one of the safest and long-term investment tools.
I see. That's very helpful for who are interested in starting in the real
Hmm.
estate
Yeah.
industry. So, how can an area make an impact on home prices? This is a question by Simon Diago.
So location, of course, with real estate, location is important. You know,
Mhm.
people want to live in an area and invest in an area that
Mhm.
they feel safe, right? And it's going to provide a good value. So obviously, nice areas of towns are always going to have a higher market value than areas of town
Yeah,
that are typically have a higher crime rate and et cetera. And that's
yeah,
because people want to live in an area that's nicer versus an area that's not as nice.
of
So,
course.
and of course, across the country, amenities are a feature of that. Close to bodies of water such as lakes and oceans are always prime premium markets.
Mm-hmm.
Areas of economic boom, so opportunities for employment. Schools are a big one as well. So schools for kids, if the area has great schools, that's also going to be an influential factor for a lot of people, especially obviously people with kids. So there's a few different factors, but location is mainly one of the biggest ones that's going to affect market. Especially if, like in the city of Anchorage, location is
Hmm.
essentially our largest determination on price point. So downtown, pretty much any place in downtown is going to be a little
Yeah.
higher price point. Areas up on our hillside is a nicer area. You get more acreage. It's like you're not next to a lot of people. You get great
Hmm.
views of the ocean, the
Yes.
inlet, and the mountains. So those areas attract a lot of people as well. So yeah, location is typically one of the biggest market factors for us
I
for
can
price
imagine.
point.
I'd love to
Yeah.
live in a place where there's a beautiful view. I would pay for a view. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of those here.
And another question we have here is from Cleo, and she's asking, is there a reason that a home's assessed value differs compared to the market value?
Yeah, so the assessed value is typically by the tax authority, right? So
Hmm.
here it's the municipality of Anchorage. They're going to give an assessed value based upon what they think the home may be worth.
Hmm.
Not very accurate.
Yeah.
Sometimes, they can be somewhat close in the area where there's a lot of home sales. So
Hmm.
typically, if there's a lot of townhomes, zero lot lines, or single family homes that are really tight together, they're a little bit closer. But you know, they don't, you know, Alaska is a non-disclosure state, so we don't share our home prices with the state or the city. So
Hmm.
they kind of they have to guess. They don't know what improvements that you have, all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. So
Hmm.
the assessed value is just like a city's rough guesstimate just for tax base. The market value is really kind of like what people are willing to pay in the current market. So we've had, roughly a 10% increase in price point since the beginning of the year. So
Hmm.
obviously the city's assessed value has not kept up with market inflation. So
Oh,
obviously there's going to be a difference between the assessed value and the market
mhm.
price right now.
I see. Gotcha.
Hmm.
And I'm just going to go through the questions here because there seems to be a
Sure.
lot, and
Right.
for our time is not unlimited. So,
Right.
from Fern, she's asking, what sets Aspire Real apart from other real estate firms you consider competitors? Mm.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think it really is our outreach.
Hmm.
Quality of job. Um,
Yeah.
you know, all my agents get trained to a pretty high level, and the expectation is pretty high, along with
Okay.
our outreach on marketing.
Hmm.
So obviously, high level of just quality of transaction, making seamless transactions with our clients. But as far as, marketing and everything goes, I think we stand out a lot with all of
Hmm.
our video marketing, social media marketing. We are definitely one of the, I think probably the top teams as
Yeah,
far as marketing within my community, definitely as far
definitely.
as reach. No one really kind of competes with us. Some have tried with the video, but I think I'm pretty much the go-to for
Your
video.
personal
And
time. That's it.
yeah, so and that's what sets us apart. So when we say, hey, here's our marketing package, it's really, we average 100 plus thousand impressions a month for our marketing,
Wow.
which is pretty significant.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have an entire dashboard that I track all my everything with. And
Mm-hmm.
so to be able to show a client like, okay, here's our reach, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's that paints a pretty positive picture for them.
Of
Like, what do
course.
you guys do? And like, we don't do newsprint, we don't do paper, we don't, the newspaper, we don't do any of that. Everything is online based because cost per dollar for market reach is way substantially higher. So we do a
Yeah,
lot.
and that's
Like, of course, with your
mm,
guys' help, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, personal and business pages of all of them, and
mm,
of course YouTube as well. So getting that out, sharing these things, and then yeah, and just people obviously see it, appreciate it, and
mhm.
obviously know who we are,
Yeah,
just all through basically all of the marketing.
that's amazing, and we're happy to be a
Hmm.
part of that. To be a part of that reach to your audience and be able to convince potential home sellers, home buyers that you're the
Hmm.
go-to group real estate company
Yeah,
for them.
and top of
Um,
mind is important for that.
mhm. Yeah, exactly. When you're the one that they think about, that you're the go-to company for it, then yeah,
Okay.
definitely. So,
Yeah.
Cindy is asking, hi Justin, how are you? I'm just curious about how many homes do you help buyers purchase each year? So I guess this is more on the buyers side.
So how many people we help every year?
Mhm.
So we'll probably do close to 100 transactions this year.
Wow, that's a
Hmm.
lot. Well, then there's five of you, so that does help with the workload.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, but
Yeah.
of course, your your goal is to still accept more agents and
Right.
increase productivity
Hmm.
of the rest.
I just had a meeting
Okay,
with one today.
oh,
So to
awesome,
bring some more people on, I need help. I'm like, come on, help me out. So
amazing. So,
yeah,
Cass is asking, is now a good time to buy a house in Alaska despite the pandemic? I guess the numbers shows it is a good time.
yeah. So Alaska's fully opened. The
Mm-hmm.
real estate market never really paused for the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course interest rates for lending have been the major impact for the market here. Interest
Mm-hmm.
rates are still really historically very low, and so
Okay.
basically for the same payment you get a lot more house, which is really nice. So it's allowing a lot of my buyers to move from a condo or a townhome into a single
Mm-hmm.
family home, or from their first home into like their forever home. And so
Yeah.
just with the interest rate, so the interest rate's giving them an addiction, and an additional five, six, $700 per month, um, which will give them about an additional $100,000 of extra, value in which they're able to go up, which is quite a bit of house. You could buy it for an extra $100,000. So,
I see.
hmm.
Okay. Again, as I've said, that our time is not unlimited, so I'm just gonna go
Right,
to one last question here. I
sure.
guess the one from Ace. I'll just say Ace. It's difficult to read his name. He's asking,
Uh huh.
when is the best time to visit Alaska? Planning to have a vacation.
It depends on what you like. So, we have two seasons, summer and
Mm-hmm.
winter. Our spring and fall are very short, almost non-existent. So, winter we have some of the best winter snowshoeing. We have helicopter snowshoeing. We have backcountry skiing and snowboarding. We have one of the top 10 resorts in the nation for snowfall. So if you like winter activities, we are a fantastic place for that. Summertime is typically when we get the most tourists. The summertime is typically when you're going to see more moose and the bears and all the wildlife. And we have, of course, during summer solstice, almost 24 hours of daylight. So typically we get it, it's also warmer. Um,
Yeah.
so it's people typically come more in the summertime, but it really kind of depends on what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say if you're a big skier, snowboarder, or winter person, we have the Northern Lights is always good in the wintertime to
Yes.
see. You know, and yeah, we have like world class skiing. We've Alyeska, which is just south of us, 35 minutes south is our big resort. We've had several
Mm-hmm.
gold Olympic gold medalist skiers come out of that resort.
Wow.
So we definitely have some world class skiing, snowboarding, and backcountry stuff as well. And then, of course,
Mhm.
summertime, as everything's open. You have all the tourist activities you can do: whitewater
Yeah.
rafting,
Mhm.
hiking, seeing the wildlife, taking these bus tours into Denali National Park and seeing one of the tallest peaks in North America. So a lot of stuff to see, a lot of stuff to do. We got fishing, hunting in the summertime. So, you know, or just go around and see the sights, enjoy the food, meet the people, drink, really, really good high quality beer. So
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
we kind of have something for everyone all year.
Awesome. So to Ace, you can either go, I think you have to go to both seasons. You have to plan for two trips, experience summer and
Right.
experience winter, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really
Very
a
unique.
place I'd love to go.
Yeah. Come on up. Be happy to host you.
Hey, yeah, that's an invitation I would definitely um, try my best to hold on to.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I would just like to ask before we end this live stream,
Mhm.
what are your plans? Like, what vision for Aspire Realty? Like long-term
Currently,
vision.
I'm working.
Mhm.
Yeah, long-term plans is kind of grow out business here. I'm actively trying to, have some of my agents kind of take over my role a little bit,
Mhm.
and then be kind of like become, like a second, kind of team lead. And then I want to expand my real estate company to different states under
Mhm.
my brokerage. So it allows me to do that pretty easily. So looking to expansion into Idaho, Washington, Oregon, so the whole kind of Pacific Northwest. Um, currently working with a developer to start a few projects here, probably in 2022 in
Okay.
different states. And so right now I'm actively working on my license in a few different states beyond Alaska. And so I'll be traveling a little more at the back. So the
Mhm.
probably the last quarter of this year.
Okay. A lot of
Hmm.
traveling there for this year
Yeah,
and the years to
yeah.
come.
I've already got a ton of traveling in, almost 29,000 miles so far this year. So
Oh wow! And
I've
it's
been
even during the pandemic, what more? What more when everyone's vaccinated? So
right. Yeah. Well, in the United States, we've had a pretty good vaccination rate. So Alaska's pretty close to almost 70% now.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you come to Alaska, you get a free vaccine. So
Okay, gotcha. All right. So Justin, just one more thing. As you know, as I've said, I've mentioned that this is for our anniversary. So I'd just like
mhm.
to ask if you have a message for our VAs, if you have a message for OceanClick.
Yeah, I've appreciated all the work you've been doing. Juvia's been fantastic. She's been super responsive, putting in some good work. You guys have been fantastic. Of course, the video edit team's starting to get off the ground and going, and you guys have been good at getting that up and going and responding to my requests on revisions and all that stuff. So, um, yeah, it's been fantastic working with you guys. I look forward to my weekly Zooms, check-ins with everyone. So yeah, it's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed my experience so far with OceanClick.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Justin. And I do hope that we'll have a long term relationship between our companies, and hopefully, we'll be there to see your company really go and expand through all the different states. And
Awesome.
so, so yeah, before we go, I would just like to invite everyone, if they want to follow Justin. He is on Facebook and Instagram. I believe you're also on LinkedIn and
Mhm.
YouTube. It's Aspire
Yep.
Realty Group, Anchorage. And to those who would also like to know more about OceanClick, follow us in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, OceanClick VS. And we are also on YouTube, which is OceanClick TV. All right. Again, thank you so much, Justin, for your time. We really appreciate it. And hopefully, we'll get to interview you again next time.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
All
Thanks.
right.
Thanks, Spring.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Yep. Yeah. Bye, everyone.